Hello and welcome to Sport Time on Benue Television. Well, it's not a good start for Team Nigeria as the Super Falcons lost to Brazil in their opening game at the 2024 Olympic Games. I'm your presenter, Frank Ono, and with me in the studio today, I have Mr. Harris Theka, my usual analyst in the house. You're welcome on the show.
Thank you.
And we have Mr. Chowa Austin, our normal guest, that has been doing wonders to the world of sport, is here with us presently in the house. Mr. Chowa, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we'll go on a short break and we'll come back. Sport Time continues, so stay with us.
Oh yeah, me. Oh yeah, me. Oh yeah, me. Yeah, me. As I come enter the place, make you tell me what I have for.
This is Yami Benue TV. A lot of people have been yamming us. Okay, so we could go meet all these
Most
mamas.
of these things that they bring up for family. Like handwork is just the best.
Hello and welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Sport Time on Benue Television, watching us live from Makurdi, the Benue State capital. This is a program where we thrill you around the world of sports. And on the first segment, we're going straight to the Olympics 2024. That is the Women Olympics. It's both men and women. And we had a bad outing. Our first match, we lost to the Brazilians. Mr. Harris, we were here. We knew that we were drawn in the group of death, where we have the likes of Brazil, Spain, and all that. And the two African countries that qualified were Zambia and Nigeria, the Super Falcons, talking about the Super Falcons. But first, we'll look at the results and the matches, how they played out on the 24th of July this month. And the first match in Group A was Canada vs. New Zealand, where Canada played 2-1-0 against New Zealand. And the second on the Group A, where we had France and Colombia. And looking at this Group A, their first match, Canada and New Zealand, we all know that Canada, they have an upper hand, while the New Zealand are the underdogs within the two groups. So, Mr. Harris, we've never accepted the underdogs. And if football doesn't have a formula, anybody can win. But it came out that Canada played New Zealand. What do you have to say about that match?
Yeah, New Zealand are not too strong in female football. So whether we like it or not, there are still underdogs in football. Any day, any time, there are underdogs. Because the stage is always frightening when you come to a stadium of 80,000 capacity and everybody is shouting. Sometimes that fever alone grips some players until the game is over, while some are used to it.
Yeah, let me tell you, this Women Olympics is a game to watch. It's just, you don't need to miss just a single match. It's explosive.
Yes.
It's interesting.
Yes.
And in the same match they won in Group A, the second match was between France
and
versus Colombia. So
that was a cracker.
The game was a dicey game, and France played out Colombia 3-2-0.
Yes, it shows it was a tough game.
Yeah.
The Colombians are mostly black, and they play this energetic football, while the French are a kind of more intelligent. Yes, they have mix of blacks in their team. I think they have like one or two Nigerians in that team, adopted Nigerians. Yes, they are very strong and intuitive when it comes to football on the pitch. Why the Colombians are a little bit more rugged.
Yeah.
Yes, that South American mentality is there. So the fighting spirit was it showed on the pitch of play, and at the end of the day, the smarter team, the ones that took all their chances, carried the day.
Carry the day. Mr.
Yes.
Tewa, this France Colombia, do you have anything to chip in?
You see, generally, let me even go back a little bit. We look at New Zealand as an underdog.
Yeah.
You see, even if the alphabet shows that you are an underdog, I qualifying to the Olympic Games in itself is a show of strength.
Yes.
So once you are in the Olympic Games, anything you should expect anything.
Yes.
When Nigeria won the gold in Olympic Games in Atlanta 1996,
Yes.
Nigeria didn't go to that Olympic as a favorite for that gold medal. But the difference between the strength of those things is very, very marginal.
Yes.
That anybody at any time, any team can beat anything.
Yes.
The New Zealand can spring surprises in the next game, you'll be surprised. And to even survive Canada to lose only by 1 goal shows they have something to offer.
It's all right.
The Colombia-France game was, you can look at it typically as an explosive game.
Yes.
If you watch the game.
Yeah, sure.
So we cannot even predict the outcome
Of that group.
That's
Okay.
what I'm saying.
Yes.
This female Olympic is explosive and it's very interesting. And we look at same match day 1 and Group B, where Germany played against Australia, where Germany had the day, and the same thing in the Euro, where we had Germany. They played very, very well, but they couldn't got to the finals. And the second on that same group, that's Group B, on match day 1, where USA played Zambia, sorry, is 3-0. It's so disappointing that that is our own brother in sports when it comes to the country. We have Zambia and Nigeria. We were hoping that they would have at least played a draw, but the USA showed us that they are more better off the Zambian team. So looking at that Zambian team, do you have anything that you needed? And at the match and the statistics, they had all ball position and all everything. I think Zambia need to go back and in their drawing board and check out their loopholes and prepare for the next match, or they will not even survive the round of 16.
Yeah, I will still maintain my statement that there are underdogs in football, whether we like it or not. Zambia at this stage are underdogs compared to USA, who has been there from day 1 of the female football, be it at the female World Cup, be it at the under 20 female World Cup.
It's an 18.
Yes, it's an 18. So Zambia and USA is no match.
It's all right. There's a video. We'll play the video shortly. The goal highlights between Zambia and the USA shortly, and so we'll see how it all played out that day. So the video.
Having a stronghold on that spot now.
It's all right. In Group C, match day 1, where we have the almighty Spain versus Japan, where Spain outplayed Japan 2-1. And the second on that same match day 1, Group C, where our country Nigeria versus the Brazilians, where we got it wrong. The Brazilians defeated us 1-0. I have issues with Nigerian and the lineup entirely. Number 1, we had issues that the dropping of the exemption of Oshoala and our sister
Francisca Odega from the initial stage where they were selecting the players.
So
you see, I told you here the other time, our Nigeria, we don't get things right when it comes to this football. Using a set of players for 5 years in Europe will mean you are 100% fit. But in Nigeria, once they know your name, whether you're sick or you are just recovering from the hospital and whatever, or you know you have a connection with one minister or somebody in the NFF or a governor, then you are qualified to make the team. Nigerians don't pick their team on merit, and this is killing us. You cannot go to a world stage like the Olympics and then select players on sentiments and then take them there, and then at the end of the day you expect to get the best results. Football it doesn't lie. It shows on the pitch.
It's all right, Mr. Chawa. As far as the football is concerned, you have the knowledge and you've been in the system. And you're looking at this team, Nigeria, the Super Falcons. I don't know whether you might have issue with the selection or with the pattern. If you watch the match, they could not even calm down and play their own style of play. They wanted to outplay Brazilian. So the way they were rushing, I think they really need to.
They were panicking.
Panicking. So, Mr. You can just.
And that is where dropping Oshoala and Francisco Dega comes into play. You see, the fidgeting, the panicky nature of the team was largely as a result of some of the players being inexperienced.
Stage fright.
Players like Odega and Oshoala have been at the big stage, and those younger ones, the new members of the team,
would have relied on their
experience
to calm
things down. You play and you guide when you have experience like Oshoala and Odega have been there, have played one of the biggest clubs in the world.
Yes.
Have appeared in the biggest international tournaments in the world. She has been in the World Cup
many times.
2-3 times.
Yes.
She has been in the World Cup. So you don't just change a team overnight because you have set out to victimize certain players for any reason that you think is your own reason. They shouldn't. They got it wrong from the beginning. The team is in silent crisis. There is a crack in between.
Yes.
The coach was pitched against some other officials of the NFF.
NFF, yes.
It became a crisis-ridden matter.
Exactly.
That the coach was accused
of favoring some players.
Of dropping Odega.
Obi and Odega.
The coach was said to have been plagiarized.
Okay, before we go into that deeply, let's just have the highlights of the match between Nigeria and Brazil before we get deep into it. So the match between the Nigerians and the Nigeria Super Falcons and the Brazil will be played shortly. After that, then we'll go straight into it and go. Yeah, that is how it all played out. It was not as if they were far better than us, the Super Falcons. They played very well, but I think they need to go back and check where they need to strengthen it. Before we played that video, you were saying something about the selection.
Yeah, that the team was crisis-ridden. There was a crack. Some other people believe the experienced players would have made a difference, while some, on grounds of sentiment or whatever was their reasons, were against the inexperienced players.
Yes.
So you see, when you go into a tournament with that spirit, the spirit is not one. The other people on the other side will want a bad result to prove their case.
Exactly.
So there may even be some cases of sabotage.
Yes.
So you don't go into a tournament divided. And the best to do was to take players who were experienced. You cannot, they were at the peak of their career. If they would have to leave the team after the Olympics, it would have been better.
Better. Honor them.
Yes, it would have been better. So the other ones, we now start with lesser tournaments to walk into the team.
Yes.
But for you to at the peak, at this one of the biggest, apart from the World Cup in football, this is the biggest tournament.
Yes.
As for sports entirely, this is the biggest tournament. It's ahead of the World Cup.
Exactly.
So I can't understand why you will now begin to drop experienced players at the twilight of going to an Olympic Games.
Exactly.
That's
And
all
then
right.
you can't even resolve the issue
Yes.
before the tournament.
Yeah,
you do it brutally.
Yes, it's
and
still
then you tell them,
unresolved.
yes, tell them to get away.
Yes.
I hope
They were bullied out of the team.
Yes.
So I hope Wooden will take the corrections and adjust his.
What one you say was blackmailed in the matter?
So our next match we are meeting Spain.
Yeah.
And Spain are the giant.
Yes.
Spain, they are the best team in the world.
In fact, they
They are
have
the
invested
world-
more into
yes.
female football.
Yeah, they are the world number one in the FIFA ranking,
Yes.
and we're meeting them next. I hope I'm still confident that Nigeria will make
the,
them pay
on
for the rest of
patriotic
their
grounds.
money.
On patriotic grounds, that's it. But the reality is that we
are
don't
facing
prepare.
an uphill task.
Yes, we don't prepare for tournaments, and we expect to get results. Prior to tournaments, we have issues, we fight, we disagree, we do so many funny things, and then we expect to win against teams that have planned
We expect
for
to win.
4 to 5 years.
Yes, we expect to win.
For 4 to 5 years.
It's not done. It's not possible.
So looking at this tournament, we're meeting Spain. Our next match that's going to be on Sunday.
That is a no match for
6
Spain.
p.m.
That is a no match for Spain in reality. But on patriotic grounds, I would like Nigeria to
We
win.
hope to win.
Yes,
But
in
we are,
reality,
we are facing an uphill task.
that would be a drubbing.
But I'm optimistic that we want to make them pay for-
Patriotically, all of us want to win.
It's high time we accept the truth. We should start doing things the right way.
It's all right. So okay, now we should just give up that we're not going past.
No, we
we're not-
must remain patriotic.
Yeah, okay.
We are emphasizing patriotism.
Patriotism, yes.
We must remain patriotic.
Yes.
We must have to support the Super Falcons to win. But
The right
we
things
should,
should
but we
always be
shouldn't
done.
expect too much.
Yes.
Oh,
We
okay.
shouldn't over expect.
It's all right. We'll quickly go and then we'll look at the transfer briefly before we go on a short break, and we'll come back. We'll go to our home front. So on the transfer list, we'll be looking at Man City. This question is directly to you about Man City, and
Okay.
particularly as Pegadera has revealed that Anderson, their number one keeper, could be leaving the club this summer, this window transfer.
Okay.
And after he have achieved a lot of silverwares, and it has been the journey with Man City where they are today. So why are they letting him go now? I was thinking maybe Guardiola will iron things out with him and say, okay, no, what is your problem, and we'll look into it. But he has come out openly to say he's not sure that Anderson is going to stay for next season or this coming season. So what is the problem, and you looking at it,
Yeah.
what is Anderson's problem within the club?
Yes. Thank you for that question. Guardiola, you should know Guardiola by now. Guardiola is a very cunning coach. He uses you, gets what he wants to get. He knows exactly your value, and he knows when your value has dropped. The moment Ederson started getting injuries, week in, week out, Guardiola knew his time was up at Man City. Guardiola demands a lot from his players. And when you are not up to that, giving up to that expectation again, Guardiola stylishly lays you off. The way he did to Raheem Sterling
Selling Mahrez.
and other players. So Ederson is not an exception. I think his performance levels have dropped. To be very sincere with you, his performance levels have
to
dropped.
add to it, football is business,
Yes.
and good managers knows where, when to lay you off, but still get value. They don't
For their
allow
money.
you. Yes, they don't allow you completely
Finish
finished.
before.
So when you reach your peak and they
Yes.
know that you cannot go past here, they will sell you out, make money.
Yes.
So
because actually this is the time he can get something out of it.
Yeah, so you can go, even if you are becoming a liability, you become a liability somewhere else, but they will make the best of
money,
it.
yes.
If you look at what Arsene Wenger was doing, similar thing. At your peak, he will sell a player out that everybody will be surprised.
Yes.
Yes, but
as an insider, he knew better.
And all the players he saw that no player played better than he did in Arsenal.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
Okay, still on transfer, we'll talk about Arsenal. Arsenal have an agreement in principle with the signing of Ricardo Carvalho. The signing, Arteta is a very crafty coach again, worked under Wenger and Guardiola. He has followed the footsteps of Guardiola. I think his signings too are going to have impact in the team too.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a good signing again. And the third is Bayern Munich keen to have a deal to sell a Delete to Man United, but the issue is the gap between them is just the valuation. As they want add-ons, but Bayern Munich want the money should be paid up front. And I think it's going to be a good signing. Mr. Chowai, you have been in the system and you talked about restructuring. And each time I think about a team that wants to restructure, your name comes on my mind first. Talking about Danilo Bissaz and what you said has played out, is playing out openly and is in the picture. So now, you have seen Manchester United, they are doing the same thing, the restructuring. They've gone back to rebuild the system and they're bringing in young bloods from 30, not up to 40. But yeah, so that the players will have value for some time and give them the bets in results when the season kickstarts. So the little signings, the new ownership of Man U are doing, and the thing is going to yield a good result to the club, and we're going to bring prospect when the season starts.
Generally, football, the younger the better.
It's all right. Okay.
The younger, the better.
Oh.
So if you have a good youth system, you have just gotten it right. The younger, the better. And the younger players, let me draw you back to Nigeria.
Okay.
You can see for the past 10 years, we have never had an MPFL player going to play in Europe. But we have had academy players leaving Nigeria. Young players that are 16, 17, 18 years leaving Nigeria to go and play
in Europe.
In Europe.
Yes.
So if the Europeans are not foolish that all the players playing the MPFL, an average MPFL team is old.
Yes. They know.
Yes.
They
an
know
average MPFL team is
you cannot pick an under 17 player from the MPFL.
You can't
be 17 years and playing the MPFL.
You can't get it. In fact, there's no risk. But a coach, a manager that have confidence in his youth program, we risk. You see 17, 18 years playing at the biggest stage. So it's the talent and the encouragement.
Yes.
The talent and the encouragement.
They give you every incentive you need.
Other clubs that doesn't have confidence in themselves don't risk young players.
Yes.
Because of fear, they look at it as a risk factor.
Okay, it's all right. I can't wait for next season to start so that we'll look at what Man U is recruiting and what they're cooking. And on that, we'll go on a short break and we'll come back. We'll discuss, we'll bring back sport in Benue State, talking about Lobby Stars. We'll go on a short break and we'll come back. We'll take you straight to home front. So stay with us and not touch that dial.
Hi and welcome to Entertainment Timeout on Benue Television.
welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Sport Time on Benue Television, and when it comes to sports, we give you local and internationally. Watching us live from Makodi, the Benue State capital, and we'll go straight to home front. On the home front, we'll be talking about our darling Lobby Stars. Lobby Stars to adapt Tafawa Balewa Stadium, Bauchi, as a new home ground for the 2024-2025 EPL season. We were aware that the Money Mitchell MD was here with us, and they are massively working on the stadium, and the governor visited the stadium.
Yeah.
Yes, and so I don't know I don't know whether you can tell us the progress at the stadium right now, and the governor visited the Apeku Stadium. What was the outcome of the visit?
The governor had already contracted the stadium, and it's a priority project to him. His visit to the stadium was to look at the state of the stadium and to throw his support behind the contractor and show seriousness for the project. If you look at the contractor, Money Mitchell Sports Facilities Construction Limited, when he came here, you look at the zeal, you look at how he spoke about the governor.
Yes.
Yes. So it is the spirit, the enthusiasm, the commitment he saw in the governor that he transferred to the viewers that day. So the governor is very emphatic. Beyond that, if you look at the story of Lobby Star adopting Tafawa Balewa Stadium for their home matches, it still comes back to this idea of unilateral decisions. I say Lobby Stars ordinarily has a board. You first outline the board completely. So he doesn't consult with anybody without taking the say, even the Benue State government. Why the governor was busy assuring the Benue people that the league 2024-2025 will be played at Apereku Stadium, somebody somewhere was saying he's playing in Bauchi. So if we look at that, is the extent to which he doesn't consult. He sits anywhere. He was in Abuja. He didn't consult even with his management, which he doesn't have. The board that have not had a meeting since March 2022. He will sit anywhere and take a decision. At least he have a deputy governor supervising him as the chairman. He take this decision even without the deputy governor. It's terrible. But the governor, at the moment the governor heard that you first said the games will be played in Bauchi, he straight away called the deputy governor, and the deputy governor called your first attention that the governor is angry with that. So he quickly reversed it and posted on the Lobby Stars fans page that the matches will be played in Makodi. Maybe the first 3 matches can be played away from Apereku Stadium, and they will come back.
Okay, they've come to our notice that the Benue State Assembly has set up a committee to look into the poor performances of Lobby Stars lately, and Mr. Dominic Yofa allegedly refused to work with the cooperate with the team. So what do you think could be the reason why Yofa has refused to work with the team? The governor or the deputy governor set for
anyway, the committee was not set by the deputy governor or the governor. The committee was set by the Benue State House of Assembly. The Benue State House of Assembly, there was a motion in the plenary of matter of urgent importance, urgent public importance. The motion was moved by Cephas Jacko, the chairman House Committee on Sports, that he has received several complaints concerning Dominic Yofa and Lobby Stars. He had called the attention of Dominic Yofa since October last year, severally, and he refused to appear. So he moved a motion. Then the motion was seconded by the assembly member in Kasinala.
Mr. Guy, what's his name again?
was seconded by him. So it gave rise to that committee. It's an ad hoc committee. The committee is charged with the responsibility of looking at activities in Lobby Stars, what led to the drop from first, second to end of sixth last year. Why a lot of fans and supporters have been complaining vehemently against the chief executive officer. So yesterday he appeared.
Yeah, we had news that
yes.
they invited him.
Yeah, they invited him day before yesterday. They invited the stakeholders. They invited the Minister of Sports. So all of us appeared. So we were heard in 3 segments. The first segment was Lobby Stars management. The second segment was the ministry. The third segment was the stakeholders. So we were critically listened to. At first, I was uncomfortable with the committee because there was a committee like that was constituted by the governor last year when he came. Nothing has been heard of that committee till today. But when I got to the sitting room of that committee and the seriousness I saw, the attention, the hearing they gave to those who were presenting their positions yesterday and their complaints, tells me that that committee is not the normal committee we saw. That they are really serious and prepared. I saw them. I saw commitment. I saw seriousness.
Okay, do you think this will solve the issues of Lobby Stars?
That is my greatest hope.
That's
my greatest hope.
Mr. Harris, with all this development, do you think we'll have a way forward in footballing system in Benue State in general?
Yes, positively. If the governor takes a strong and positive stand the way he is doing now, calls all the stakeholders and all the participants to a round table and addresses the issues surrounding our sports and football, our football and sports generally, I think we will get it right. We'll surely get it right.
So, Mr. Austin, Manu Mitchell, MD, was here on the other show with us, and he told us how they're rushing to finish up the stadium and the hybrid standard they're going to bring up in the stadium. That's Perico, talking about Perico Stadium. We'll bring more pictures on how the stadium progresses in our next program, but I don't know if in each way you have gone there to see how the works is.
Yeah, the Benue State football stakeholders visited, took a tour of the stadium earlier in the week. That was Tuesday. We were there. We interacted with Manu Mitchell. Manu Mitchell, he even demonstrated the performance of the materials he wanted to use.
Okay.
Yeah, he demonstrated, he explained, he said he gave the government 8 weeks, that's 2 months, to complete the stadium. But he said the chairman gave him an extra 1 month.
To be very sure.
To be very sure, but he gave them 8 weeks. So say he's comfortable with the time and he's working towards it, and he is building a pitch that can attract international games. In fact, he was emphatic that any day the Super Eagles play on his field, they will not leave Makodi.
I don't know this story. The question I want to ask you, I know you are not really deep into Lobby Stars, but the issue is how prepared are Lobby Stars towards a new season starting in August?
You see, I don't need to be a coach of Lobby Stars to be able to know about whether Lobby Stars are well prepared or not. When the season ended, Dominic Ufa himself was not sure whether he was going to stay or he's leaving.
Yes.
So if you look at the key players of Lobby, as we talk now, are sold out. About 5 players are gone. 5 first team players, including the first team goalkeeper,
What could be the reason?
He sold them out. They are sold out. Now, even if Dominic Yofa stays, he will have a challenge of replacing those players. Even if he leaves, which is likely that he leaves, he will leave the successor with a burden of trying to build a team in a very short time.
Mr. Harris, we were talking about the poor performances of Lobby Stars in our other episode of Sport Time, and we're talking about finances. But you say categorically that Lobby Stars never had issue of funds.
Lobby Stars is not broke.
Yeah, there were funds
They
they released
cannot be
lately, you know, even
Yes.
though they didn't give that money at the beginning of the season, but towards the ending of the season, amount of money about
59 million naira.
was
It is not because they were not getting money. Lobby Stars were getting their monies at when due. Midway from March the 20, their March monies were delayed for about 9 weeks. March monies, not the allocation, the normal monthly allocation. The normal monthly allocation, the salary, the wage bill of Lobby Stars is less than 50% of the normal monthly allocation. So Lobby cannot even complain that they cannot honor matches because match monies are not given to them. Right? So, but after 9 games, the governor released the money for the past 9 games and money for the next remaining games to finish the season. They gave them money in advance. In fact, Lobby Stars started losing at home when the money was given. So when they were claiming that they didn't have money, they were not losing games.
yeah, they know they could not even win a match.
Yes,
The
they
tournament.
were not winning games. They were not losing games. When they said they had no money, when they had money, they started losing games. In fact, they were position number 2 when they got that money. I ended up 6th.
This is disappointing.
So it's not about money. Completely, it's not about money. It's poor management, inefficiency in management.
All right. So, what's the advice generally on Benue State issues concerning sports?
I have always said, let me narrow it to this football that we are talking about. Dominic Yofa have to leave that stage for a more democratic leader.
No. Okay, let's just talk about Dominic Yofa.
Yes.
Let's not just talk about. We're talking of
In fact,
advice generally. Let's just leave Yofa in this issue. My question was the advice generally on in Benue State concerning sports. If we want to progress in football, what advice do you want to give us?
Now, let me take that. You see, most times when you try to do the right thing, I don't know why you get into trouble. When you try to do the right thing, you get into trouble.
I don't get you.
He's talking.
Okay.
When you have to do the right thing, first of all, you should know that you're going to do away with mediocrity. You're going to do those people that like cutting edges. You lay them off. You lay the principles of success on ground. For you to get into this place, we don't care who you know. We don't care who sent you a letter or a note. All we care is your talent, your skills, your ability, and your endurance. If you can do it, you get into it. We don't want to know you. We don't want to have any connection with you. But by the time you lay all these principles on ground, somebody will come from behind. It is mean that you know that you don't want to help me now. I helped you 30 years ago. Today you don't want to help me now. You're trying to show that you are a saint. You understand? I don't know if you really understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Because go into our teams in the MPFL. Sometimes some players that get into these teams are players that know the commissioner or they know the
Compromised
team
recruitment.
chairman. You understand?
Compromised recruitment.
Compromised recruitment, just as it's saying. That's in a nutshell. You see, the screening process will be open quite okay, but none of the players in that open screening will make the team. You see players coming from heaven to come and start making the team.
But let me shock you. This is not only about Benue State. The NFL, from the national level.
We started saying it. And that is why we are not going anywhere. That is why we are not going anywhere. That is why countries, I told you the other time here, when we started female football, we were at the top. None of these African countries was close to us. Anytime we held them, we'll be beating them 8 goals, 7 goals, 6 goals. Today, when we play a match against an African team, we fight to score a goal. Before the Olympics, Nigeria struggled to beat South Africa and qualify. South Africa were no match to Nigeria in the past. They will come with all they know. Nigeria will beat them 4-0, 5-0 and walk away. Even in their home, in Johannesburg, so Nigeria won the African Cup of Nations twice in their stadium.
So when are we going to get this right? They say charity begins at home, and from the state level,
you see,
working out.
You see, there were laid on structures in the 80s into the 90s in football. When I was growing up, every local government had a sports council coach attached to it. It was not only football. You see, have athletic coach, you have basketball, handball, you have several games. Coaches attached to
each sport.
Yes. So, since these coaches started retiring, there was no successors, no replacement.
And then the system is dying down.
They have retired. As I speak to you, there are only 2 football coaches in the sports council that I know. 2 coaches. And the system was the players that were retired were trained as coaches, taking over from the ones that were retiring. In fact, the last batch of coaches I know was the first generation players of Hawks. They retired, went into coaching, and all of them are retired now, completely. So we only have 2 coaches, and these 2 coaches are not trained by the sport council. The 2 coaches that are remaining are not trained by the sport council. So the system have entirely collapsed. For us to find our bearing again, we have to go back
to the basics.
The old system. We have players, the pressure that is on lobby now, that you see players that are aging insisting to be playing, is because they can't see their future. They are insisting not to go because they can't see their future.
After football?
Yes, after football. If they are sure that, okay, as
even
we are
if I
going
retire,
out, there is a life for me. We train these coaches, send them to the local governments, they harness the talents in the local government in all sports, not just football. In all sports. And then the state will be taken from there, the football clubs will be taken from there. As we speak, there is no homegrown player of Benue State that is playing any national team.
Yeah, of course, there's not.
There's no homegrown. We have a situation where we are having 4 or 5.
They want me angry.
Yes, in those days we are having 4 or 5. Even in the Super Eagles, we are having Tefa Paco. Yes, we are having Moses Paco. Yes, Barnabas. There was a time we were having as much as that. In the youth category, under 20, under 17, we were having like that.
Yes, Lemi Issa.
So when I talk of restructuring, it's not only about lobby stars. That the whole system, the whole sports sector had to be restructured. Thank God, Governor Alia is a listening governor. He is somebody who believes in excellence. He believes in doing the right thing. These 2, if proper attention, if he got the proper knowledge of this issue, I believe he can fix it.
Okay, don't you think, I'm looking at it this way, with the fixing of this Aperco Stadium, maybe more games will be scheduled to come and play in Makodi.
Even international games.
Games. By that, a lot of people want to come and watch these foreign players come play in Aperco Stadium.
And that will boost the economy.
It's an economic
not
boost.
Even economy, but even the sports. Everybody wants to go into sport. They want to go and play in Aperco Stadium, where I'll be watched nationwide.
Because Money Michel said they will put in first class, A grade facilities.
Yeah, that's a hybrid stadium. So I think it's going to be a good progress in sports in Benue State. On that note, I think we've done enough for today. I thank you very much, Mr. Chowa, for giving us, telling us and advising us how sports will continue in Benue State. And